Welcome or welcome back to Laura's Design Studio. Today we are going to do an absolutely beginner-friendly make. We're going to make a tray. I've already picked out my UVDTF sticker, which is this one. Okay, I keep a bunch of these on hand because they're super simple to use. So this is all beginner-friendly. The only thing I've done so far is pour. I know for a fact that this tray that we're doing here takes a total of 10 ounces. So I mixed up 5 of A, 5 of B, Bond Craftor 1:1. We're just gonna stir this up, and I'm not gonna use any debubblers or mixers or anything like that, because if you're a beginner, you probably don't have those things right off the bat. So we're just gonna mix this. They say 3 to 5 minutes, but the best way to really look at this is if you see streaks in it. If you see like streak lines, that means your resin isn't mixed together all the way. So just mix it until you are streak free. Now, I use Bond Craftor exclusively because I like the way it degas and I don't get bubbles with it. And Bond Craftor is one of the resins that you can buy fairly cheaply. It's not like Temu cheap, but it is cheaper than some of the other main brands. You see I have 3 cups sitting here. That's because we're going to divide this into 3 different cups because we're going to do 3 different colors in one tray. And what I did is I looked at this. I picked out a blue, which this is pure blue, very close to that color. I picked out a pink, which is this one. And I picked out a purple because you do have some purple flowers up here. And these will be in my description box. That's the name of the company. And they come in several different packs. I think it's like a 16, a 34, and a 62, something like that. But these are really good. They mix in nice, and they're really pretty colors. They also brush on nice. I had bought some from Temu, which I've made them into pigment paste now. But here's the brand. I got these off Temu. These are really pretty when mixed in, but they don't brush on for crap. I mean, it's bad. Normally, you know, resins will tell you mix slowly. Yeah, but with Bond Craftor, I don't have those problems. So yes, I mix like a mad woman. I'm just spraying some 99% isopropyl alcohol on the top to get rid of all those top bubbles as they come up. I'm gonna let that sit over to the side. You guys can look at that. That is. And in the meantime, what I'm going to do is I'm going to grab 3 Popsicle Sticks here. And I'm going to put my colors into each cup. If you put your colors in first, you won't have that poof of mica. Now, there is a disclaimer at the beginning of this video about proper PPE. Yes, that is important. Yes, it's true, I don't use it. And that is because I have other health problems that prevent me from doing that type of stuff. Such as I have extreme neuropathy in all my extremities. So if I have on gloves, I cannot feel a thing. And for me, that's more dangerous than getting a little bit of resin on me. I keep 99% isopropyl alcohol, and I also keep baby wipes and paper towels nearby at all times because in case I do get it on my skin. Now, I've never had an allergic reaction to it. Some people do. If that's the case and you don't want to deal with, this is just a Super Sparkle White by Resin Rockers. It's really good, just gives that little bit of sparkle in your, and I just put a little bit, and you don't need hardly any. Put very little into your resin because it will take over. So there are my 3 cups. I'm going to look at this, make sure I don't have any streaks. Craftor mixes together very easily. And then what we're going to do is we're just going to pour approximately equal amounts. I'm not going to measure completely. I'm going to get them approximately the same. Now, I know I had a question in comments on one of my videos, and I will answer that one, but let me just show you the easiest way to clean your cups. And are you going to get them sparkling clean? No. You better give that idea up. Because, as you can see, my mixing cup here that I use for larger amounts has black. I try not to mix colors in this cup, but obviously at one point I had mixed black, and they will they're not easy to keep clean. So if you want a perfectly pristine cup every time, your best bet is to use disposables and throw them away afterwards, because they just aren't going to stay. You're always going to have some residue left in there. There are typical colors that stain your molds and your cups. Those are your reds, pinks, and some of your intense blues. You'll see some of my molds have blue. They do not come off in the next pour. But you see, I'm wiping this out with baby wipe, and I'll get everything I can out of it with the baby wipe. With resin, you're going to invest in baby wipes and alcohol and paper towels. You might as well just take stock in it. I feel like I should have taken stock years ago in it. But I then spray my cups with the alcohol inside and out. I think if you look at any resin videos, resin artists around YouTube, the only time you're going to see them with a pristine cup is if it's a brand new cup. Most of us reuse our cups several times, and we basically use them until they crack. I've already cracked this one. There's a small crack right up here, and eventually it will have to go in the trash. But this was a set of 3 cheapies. You can get these at Dollar Tree or whatever. So, but you'll just get it, wipe out your resin. Like this one right here, this cup looks like it has had better days, and it has. This is the cup I used for my eco resins. So if you don't want to mess with resin, part A, part B, all that stuff, get you an eco resin. Craftor has a brand new one. It is absolutely fantastic. And basically it's a powder that you mix with water. Let me show you that bag real quick. It looks like this. And you just mix it 10-3 powder and water. And that you can demold in a matter of, some of them are 30 minutes, some of them are an hour, some of them are 45. But, you know, they make for very quick projects. So, and, you know, stay tuned because I do all the different types of resin. I do the eco pours. I do have deep pour. I do have tabletop. All right. So now you're going to stir up your mica powders into the resin that you split these in. This may be a little bit longer video because I am showing you all of the steps. The only thing I didn't show you was pouring part A, part B. That's really simple. It's a 1-to-1. So in order to make 10 ounces, you do 5A, 5B. Stir it till there are no streaks, or 3 to 5 minutes if you want to time it. I've been doing resin so long that I don't time it. I just look to make sure that it's incorporated fully and that the streaks are gone. And then what you want to do is you want to mix. Now, like I said, these are super easy to mix in, but you want to mix and then you want to let it sit for a minute to see if any powder rises to the top. If powder has risen to the top, it means that you haven't mixed it in thoroughly. So give it a second mix. Let it just sit for a second. Here, I'll kind of, now watch. See those bubbles popping up? That is Craftor magic right there. It degasses so well. All your bubbles will pop up. I do have a debubbler. I have it not because I bought it. I had it because I was asked to test it. Oh, get your words right. And I do have it. I don't use it a whole lot simply because I don't have a problem with Craftor and needing to debubble something, because you can see, here's the blue, you can see bubbles popping up and they're just popping as they come to the surface. So I don't see any powder, which means it's mixed in pretty good. There you go. This one, there's no powder sitting on top. Now watch, I'll stir this up vigorously. And there's the bubbles. See how they come up and they just pop? That's a good resin right there. Now here, look at this. I have a little bit of a powder right there. So I'm gonna stir that in again. All right, so these are looking pretty good. I'm gonna take my sticks out because I'm gonna pour these and I don't want my sticks flopping around in there. All right, so now there's no rhyme or reason, we're just gonna pour. Like I said, I know this one takes 10 ounces, so we'll use every bit of this. I think that was my son's coffee pot. It's possessed. It goes off randomly at all kinds of times. Doesn't do anything, just starts beeping. I'm just scraping out the cup. We've got, sometimes you'll get a mold that's not level. So if you just prop it up with a popsicle stick, that will alleviate. Because once resin starts going over, it's gonna follow. It'll just keep going over. So if it does go over, make sure you wipe off the edge. That way more resin doesn't follow it. Now my table is definitely level, so it could be your mat underneath, it could be the mold. Just take care of it by putting a popsicle stick under the end that's low. Some of these molds aren't made the best quality, especially if you get them off of like Temu or Shein. So there, we've got a pour, and now all we do is wait for, you're gonna wait for the resin to set. Now me, I have a heat mat. It's one of the things I use every day. I do not have a typical resin heat mat. I have a food heat mat, which is what I like better because you are able to control temperatures. So my heat mat goes on, this one has settings of 2, 3, and 4. I put it on 4 for 2 hours, and then that your resin will be cured. If you don't have a heat mat, of course you're going to be waiting 24 hours before you get to demold it. Now I will show you These cups are just disposable cups, but I do use them a couple of times. So I'm going to wipe them out with paper towel and baby wipes. As long as they're not cracked or become unusable, I'm going to reuse them because, well, I'm a cheapskate. So then I just spray them with the alcohol, clean off the sides and insides in case you dropped, drops of resin got on the outside of the cup. And see, you're not going to get all that pink out of there. That's a little groove down in there. You can take your finger and try and get out as much as you can. But that we can use again. Same thing here. Now just pull out all of the resin that's in there as much as you can. Like I said, you're going to want to invest in paper towels, baby wipes, and alcohol. I go through a ton of it. I'm just going to spray. Now I am letting that sit there. You will see it degas because you will see bubbles coming up if it's necessary. Before I just let it cure, I am going to spray the top of this with the alcohol. That'll pop any bubbles. That's the easiest way and fastest way to be able to reuse your cups. And like I said, I use them until they're cracked. Because every little bit of savings helps. Now your popsicle sticks, because they're wood, they're porous and they're going to give you bubbles even as you're stirring. So do not throw these away the first time. You will see, and I have one here, because once you get resin on them and they seal, you're not going to get those bubbles anymore. So the dirtier, the nasty, the less bubbles you can have. I know that sounds horrible, but it's the truth. See, this one here has all kinds of colors on it, both ends, because I've used multiple times. You keep those. I don't get rid of my popsicle sticks unless they break or they crack and you got and they're just unusable. So yes, I will clean out this cup. But this is the easiest way to clean your cups. Just understand that you're never going to get them 100% clean. The more times you use them, the more resin residue that will show up on your cup, no matter how many times you think you've got it out of there. When they dry, you'll start seeing. Sometimes if they dry and you have a chunk in there, just peel it out. Just peel it out. Now, because I do not wear gloves, I do wash my hands in alcohol. That way I am getting off any resin that I may have touched. I'm pretty good about not touching it, but sometimes, you know, it's inevitable. It'll drip on you, whatever. I do not have reactions, but that is why I encourage everybody to use proper PPE, because you, especially if you're new to resin, first time using it, you don't want to figure out that you have a allergic reaction. So there, I'm clean, no stickies, nothing. Now, if you see any bubbles, which I don't at the moment, but I'm going to show you, just spray them with the alcohol. It will pop anything that's come to the surface. And now we're just going to let this cure. So I'll be back when this is ready to demold, and I'll show you just how easy this tray will be using very basic procedures, and you get a beautiful result. And I will talk to you on the demold. No, it's not demold time, but I wanted to bring you back. If you've never seen resin move, it is, to me, the most mesmerizing thing ever. You see how it's taking those colors and they're pulling towards the center, this way and this way. So what you pour is never going to be what you get. Get over the fact that you think you have control of resin. You don't. You never will. Resin does what resin wants. So, and you'll see when we demold this, it's going to look one way on the back. It's going to look completely different on the front. So just go with it. You're never going to have exactly what you want all of the time. And when you think you've mastered resin, don't think it, because then it's going to come up and slap you in the face and say, no, you don't master me. I do what I want. And that's exactly what resin does, what it wants. So we will see you in a few hours for me, a couple minutes, couple seconds for you. Welcome back. Let's demold this and get it done. So let's see what we have on the right side. Still a little warm from being on the heat mat, but sorry, bumped you. There we go. That is what it looks like. Now, we're gonna put the UVDTF on here. First thing I'm gonna do is cut away the excess. To me, they're easier to place if you cut off okay. This is just so I can see how it fits in here. Let's cut off the there we go. Okay. Okay, there we go. Fits nicely in there. So with UVDTFs, they have a front and a back layer of plastic. So oh, now see that piece came out. There we go. Just slowly remove that back. And then, now, once you set this, you don't get to pull it back up. So, you want to go as okay. if you try and peel that back up, it will tear off your design. You're not getting it back. Now, UVDTFs are scratch resistant, waterproof, all that good stuff. So technically, you do not have to put anything else on here. You can peel this front, and I'll show you just a second. There is a front that you have to peel up on these. So you're gonna go to your edge. And you're just gonna peel it up. Now be sure none of your design is coming with it. Okay, so now from here you could do absolutely nothing else and you would be fine, because they're waterproof, they're everything. But I like to put a top coat over this. So I want to get as many. If you see a bubble, try and push it out. If you can't push it out, just take a small knife and cut the bubble. Spike, really? Spike is out there like meowing his head off. Okay, so that looks pretty good. I have one little bubble here that I'm going to try and work out. Okay. So now I mixed up 2 ounces of Craftor 1-to-1. And I'm just going to pour it right over the top. Make sure you mix it good. Make sure you don't have any streaks left in it. Okay. Now I'm just going to pour it right over the top. Now, the easiest way to do this is just to tilt it, make sure it gets to all the sides. 2 ounces is plenty to cover this tray. And there we go. I'm not even going to bring you back because it's not going to change, except for the top layer is going to cure. So I will put it on the, I'll turn on my heat mat for 2 hours and it'll be completely cured. And there you have it. A beautiful tray within a couple of hours. As long as you have a heat mat, you can make this and give it the same day. But if not, 24 hours is your friend, and there you go. Absolute beginner friendly. So, like, share, comment, subscribe, hit that black bell. That'll give you all the notifications when I upload a new video. And in that description box, you'll find discount codes for Bond Craftor, also for INTORESIN. There's a link for Resin Molds Express. All of the stuff that you need. If you have questions, feel free to ask. And I will talk to you in the next one. Bye.